Hello everybody, my name is Offbeat Outlaw. Welcome to spellcasting. This is your intro to spellcasting. This will be one of the only few times I will ever be helpful intentionally, so please pay attention or forever hold your peace. This is in response to the massive amount of comments that I get on my build videos who would like to kindly inform me that I don't know how spellcasting works. And I would like to kindly inform them that they are deadbeat wrong. Spellcasting is a complicated part of Dungeons & Dragons, so I can understand why you might be confused and you might think I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong. This is usually in reference to how I utilize and abuse the action surge feature, but we'll get to that one. So for now, sit back, enjoy the show, and show this to your friends if they're confused about how spellcasting works in Dungeons & Dragons. I promise it is not as confusing as you think it is. The majority of all spells in Dungeons & Dragons will fall into one of two categories: a cantrip and a leveled spell. Let's cover cantrips first. Cantrips are spells that your character will always have prepared and will always be able to use, regardless of how many spell slots they have left. Cantrips will also level up with your character's level, not necessarily your spellcaster's level. So that means if I am a level 8 sorcerer and a level 3 fighter, I technically get to cast my cantrips as if I was an 11th level character. Is this weird? Yes, it is. It's a weird feature, but what it does allow you to do is allows you to multi-class more creatively with your spellcasters and still get the benefit of being one. Think of cantrips the same way a fighter might think of their sword. It is something that they can always use. You don't run out of sword ammo. You kind of just get to keep using it. Cantrips also come in a variety of shapes and sizes. Some of them are damaging spells like the incredibly potent Eldritch Blast, while others are more technical like Prestidigitation or Mage Hand. All of these cantrips have tons of different uses, and I highly suggest you try them all out because you never know what might work with your character. Now on to the so much more complicated leveled spells. Now, all spells, cantrips or not, have casting times. Let's talk about it. The casting time for a spell is usually indicated in the casting time section of the spell's description. Who would have guessed? But the casting times of these spells can vary. Some being a bonus action, some being an action, some being a minute, some being 10 minutes. Spells can take up to an incredibly long period of time to officially cast. Now, there are a lot of rules around what spells you can cast in a given turn. Now, this is the part where usually people would scream at me about me using action surge and casting 2 fireballs in a single turn. Let me tell you how this is done. Most people, when trying to refute me, would like to draw my attention to a very specific part of this book. They'd like to draw my attention to the bonus action clause. Keep that in mind. Bonus action clause. A spell cast with a bonus action is especially swift. You must use a bonus action on your turn to cast the spell, provided that you haven't already taken a bonus action this turn. You can't cast another spell during the same turn except for a cantrip with a casting time of 1 action. Now, what this means is that if you were to cast a spell with a bonus action casting time, for instance, the spell Hex, you cannot then follow it up with a fireball on the same action. You must use Eldritch Blast or Firebolt. This only follows for this given turn. You see, these rules were written with only single-classed spellcasters in mind. They weren't thinking about Action Surge or the Eldritch Knight. Not many people do. Rest in peace, my good friend. It's a really good class. You should try it out. But what this doesn't say is that you can't cast another leveled spell in the same turn no matter what. But what this does mean you can do is cast Hex, Eldritch Blast, Action Surge, then Fireball. And if you don't believe me, here is Jeremy Crawford in a tweet saying you can. Who's Jeremy Crawford? Oh, only the guy who made the rules for the game. Let your Eldritch Knight freaking Action Surge and cast 2 fireballs. That's the point of Action Surge. Thank you, good night. And don't even get me started on people who don't let their paladins Divine Smite more than once in a turn. Jesus, you guys are ridiculous. Just let them live. Let the class breathe. Anyway, that's been my rant, I guess you could say, for the evening. So now that we know how long it takes to cast your spells, it's time to go over the spell slot system. In Dungeons & Dragons, you don't have a mana system, you don't have a spell point system, although some Unearthed Arcana has that. We have the spell slot system. Spell slots all have individual levels, going from levels 1 through 9. Now, level 1 spells are pretty weak, level 9 spells are absurdly powerful. And all of them have according spell slots that it would take to cast them. Think of spell slots as ammunition. Let's go to a character like the Sorcerer. A level 10 Sorcerer knows 11 spells, has 4 first level spells, 3 second level spell slots, 3 third level spell slots, 3 fourth level spell slots, and 2 fifth level spell slots. That is how many spell slots they have available to cast their spells. They will have according spells that they can use a certain number of times, indicated by the number of spell slots. Now, you may have heard something about upcasting in your times watching D&D streams. And now you're probably thinking, what the hell is upcasting then? Well, upcasting is a unique bit of tech that the game permits you to do. You see, spell slots are not exactly like bullets or regular ammunition. They are more malleable than that. If you can cast spells at higher levels than they originally indicated. For instance, with the spell Magic Missile. Magic Missile, a really good spell. Magic Missile is a first level evocation spell with a casting time of 1 action. How it works is you create 3 glowing darts of magical force. Each dart hits a creature of your choice that you can see within range. A dart deals 1d4 plus 1 force damage to its target. The darts all strike simultaneously, and you can direct them to hit one creature or several. At higher levels, when you cast a spell using a spell slot of 2nd level or higher, the spell creates 1 more dart for each slot level above 1st. So at 1st level, you get 3 darts. At 2nd level, you get 4. At 3rd level, you get 5, and so on and so forth throughout the amount of levels that you have. That is how upcasting works. Not every spell can be upcast, but most of the damaging ones can be. And they will do subsequently more and more damage the higher level spell slot you consume. Now, on to the final part of spellcasting that I think needs to be covered today, and that is, how many spells do I have? How do I know? Well, I'm here to tell you. Most classes have a section written in them in the player's handbook telling you how many spells you have. If you are a sorcerer, if you go to the spellcasting table in the player's handbook, it tells you that your character knows 11 spells. However, if you are a wizard, you have a little bit of a different way of casting your spells now, don't you? Because aren't you so special? Now, if you're a wizard, you learn spells a little bit differently. As your character levels up, you will gain spell slots, and as such, you will be able to prepare different spells. Wizards can also copy spells into their spell books in order to gain more spells. However, for the amount of spells that they have prepared, that's how many spells they can use in the day. It is their spellcasters level plus their intelligence modifier. So if I am a 6th level wizard with a plus 18, with an 18 in intelligence, that's plus 4. 6 plus 4, I can prepare 10 spells for my day. And all of the subsequent spellcasting classes will have their various different ways of casting spells. That is spellcasting in Dungeons & Dragons. I hope this has been informative. I hope this hasn't made your life more confusing. But let me know in the comments. In the future, when I make my build videos and people are confused about me using Action Surge, I'm just going to link them to this video. And I think you should too. If anyone's giving you crap for Action Surging and casting 2 fireballs, send them this video and let them know that I'm coming for them. And all of their bullshit. So thank you. Just let me know if you want more informative Outlaw. But other than that, join the Patreon, join the Discord, and get the fuck out of my house.